So I put a poll up asking what you want the next video to be, and this one won. So today we're going to talk about why we play OnePageRules as a couple.
Yes.
Is it a good couple activity? Why are we insane enough to do it together? And so on. I'm even prepared. I got a list. Two pages. Well, 1 page and 2 lines. There's some good general reasons to like get into OnePageRules. I just listed some of them, so it's really easy to pick up. Mm-hmm. It's not tediously complex. It's not going to punish you for not knowing how to play it. Like we have a 10-year-old, and she figured it out in 2 turns, and then proceeded to beat me. So that was fun. It's pretty quick. We play a firefight game. It takes longer to record things than it does than like the videos. But even the recording sessions, when we have no idea what we're doing, it's like 50 minutes. It's under an hour for like a full firefight game. It seems like a relatively fun game. At least I have fun playing it. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, like when the dice are your friend, it's really fun.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, it can be a little less exciting.
It's very flexible.
Yeah, it's flexible. Like whatever you want to play. Like you want big scale, small scale. You want like sci-fi or fantasy or make up your own junk. You can World War II. You can do like World War II Americans with American World War II stuff fighting space orcs if you want. Like the army builder lets you do all that. It's really kind of cool. And you can make an army out of Lego minifigures if you want. You can build Lego walkers and like give them rules. It's really flexible, which I really like.
You can do terrain with anything. Like paper, Lego, blocks.
Cups that you have left over at a hotel room. Yeah, we tried that.
And I like that when you do get to print out the minis, you can like color it however way you want, So you can make an army of just your style, like with your favorite colors. And there's like no rules about that, no one's gonna care. You can color all the other elements of the game, like whatever color you want. Highly customizable. So you can do it to your style and taste and preference.
Exactly. It's very open, very free. And speaking of free, you can play for free. Like the rules are free.
Oh yeah.
The rules are free, and there are a bunch of STLs that are free. All the paper minis are free, the paper stuff. Mm-hmm. Some of the print files are not free. Like where was the first stuff I bought was Jackals. This is a Jackals model. I did not get that for free. I had to purchase those. But it's at worst, like it might not be all entirely free, but at worst, it's cheap. Like the expanded rules. There's expanded rules. You know what the expanded rules cost? It's not a $70 rule book. It's like $5, and then you get all future updates. So like I can stomach a $5 expense for hours of fun.
Yeah, the cost was like the biggest plus.
Yes.
Because we are not rich.
Yeah, so that's a good reason why we specifically picked this game. I already have a bunch of 3D printers, so that helped. So like the biggest cost to get into OnePageRules, I mean, if you don't want to use the paper minis, if you want to use like printed things, the biggest cost is the printer to begin with. I already got a bunch of them, so that helps. And the cost is like resin. And like 1 bottle of resin gets you tons of minis. It's shocking how many minis you can get and then have like a queue to prime and then a queue of primed ones to paint. I printed more last night, and we already have like the next 6 months worth of things to paint. It's pretty crazy. And like the simplicity of it's really good for us because we're totally new to wargaming. Like we've done board games and video games, and that's it. Like this is like a whole new step of nerdiness that we're going into. And looking at like a 70-page rule book, and then like I don't know how long army books are for like other armies and other games, but it's freaking insane. And just say like the whole rule book for this is 1 sheet of paper. Like that's really nice.
Yeah, and I didn't grow up playing games like he did, so I'm not very familiar with video games or even board games or any of these kind of games. So if it was any more complicated and I had to read a book of rule books, I don't think my attention would have been long enough to really read it, And besides, like if you have kids to take care of, you don't have the time to sit and try to learn,
Yeah, we don't have time.
We were constrained both in money and time.
We're literally recording this at like 11:15 at night because all the kids are in bed, and we have this little window between them in bed and like we have to go to bed because I got work in the morning, right? So we don't have time to learn the arduous task of learning a long, lengthy rule book for a game that takes 6 hours to play. Nope. When we got 45 minutes at a time.
We're trying to have fun.
Yes, fun. Jump straight to the fun.
Fun.
Another nice thing about this, it's not one hobby. Like it's not one thing. Like I got like 20 hobbies already, so time is a little limited. But this one hobby is actually like 4 hobbies, right? Like there's the game.
Yep.
And then I guess 3D printing is a hobby in and of itself, but I don't count that for this because I already did that junk.
Art.
And there's the art part, the painting everything.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because we're both very crafty. We do different kinds of crafts, but we each do like a dozen different crafts all the time. We never stop. We can't like sit unless we're totally exhausted. And this allows us to sit and do something that's meditative but not exhausting, which is super cool.
And then together.
And then we do it together, and we can set the laptop up over there and play Brooklyn Nine-Nine while we're painting. Yeah, it's good. So it's a good, good activity like that. And like personally, this isn't so much for her, but I'm a super nerd, so that Army Builder app that I mentioned on the phone, like which you can just do for free, is just as much fun as the game, like making all the lists and stuff. She probably couldn't care less about making the lists, but I like
I haven't
that.
gotten into it, but I do have the app.
She does have the app, just in case my phone dies and we're stuck like out somewhere, I can snatch her phone. And like I can use the app to make lists, and I don't get like the DTs from not having my fix. You might be wondering like why this and not other games, because we mentioned the minis and the painting. And there's a bunch of games for that. And we mentioned board games. We have some board games. Video games. Why this one in particular? Like, well, we have done a bunch of other. We do have board games. One of our favorites that we just started recently, like in the last few months, is Unmatched.
Oh yeah,
that's actually kind of similar to this because you have multiple different they're not armies, but they're like multiple different fighters.
Yeah, you do have minis there.
And they're very different. Like this, like the space nuns versus like these freaking like robot Japanese people, like that's a difference, right? Well, Unmatched is kind of like that, and we like that game. We also used to play just tons of video games together, right? So like the normal ones, like Minecraft, played Unturned, the zombie one. 3. Played all the way through Diablo 3 a bunch of times to get to like the hardest level.
Yep.
We did Resident Evil 5. That was in college on PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Right. So
console. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do tons of video games. Less so now. I don't know why. Like you need 2 gaming PCs that one of them doesn't get taken over by the kids and destroyed or something. So that's what happened to her old Diablo 3 laptop. One of the kids destroyed it. And then the next laptop, one of the kids destroyed that. Computers are expensive. That adds up quick.
Especially gaming ones are very, very expensive.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just don't feel as comfortable like, hey, I'm old and I have kids. Let me ignore them while I play a computer game in the basement. It just something doesn't seem to. So now we ignore them and come in here and paint, but they're asleep. We did play like a lot of Minecraft specifically, and I think that kind of scratched a bunch of the same itches as this, because that's not one game either. That's like 6 games. So there's survival mode, there's creative, there's like an art aspect of it, there's like building stuff, and this is like building stuff. And then we were on a survival multiplayer server for a while with some cool people, and like it's fun, right? But there's something like I would spend all this time building these cool buildings, and then you turn the computer off and it's like gone. And then the server would reset because we were like, we kind of want a fresh start, and all the work gone. Where this, like, you print a thing and you paint it. I hold it up. Our daughter, 10-year-old, painted this one. I didn't do any of this.
I painted this one.
She painted that one. But like we got this thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of stuck. We have these now. It's not like Minecraft where like the computer dies or whatever and the save is gone, or they update the game and now the save doesn't work anymore. No, like we can use this in all future games if we want. So it seems slightly more tangible to have like a thing you can like hold on to.
Yeah.
And 3D printing is cool for that because you can do digital things and then get one to like hang on. Plus there's like the progression of the skills of like painting, and I'm talking to you. I'm new to this. Most of you probably have played a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But if you haven't played a lot of these, if you're a couple like us, try this one. It's kind of fun. Even if you have kids, get the kids in. Seriously, the 10-year-old figured it out in not 2 full turns, 2 activations. So she activated 2 units on 1 turn and then had it. And then she smoked me. Well, barely. She barely smoked me. I didn't lose that hard to a 10-year-old girl. I'm not like that. That first game, I did lose, and then the second game, she almost killed me again. She's vicious. Another thing, like we don't want there's a lot of like tedium in a lot of the other games out there. Like one I was initially really interested in when I first started, like, hey, I can print this stuff, was Battletech, right? So Battletech is based on, I used to play the MechWarrior video games. I thought MechWarrior came first. No, Battletech came first. And it just seems like You gotta spec out your mech with like weapons and take care of like the weight, figure out the weight of the thing, which this was in the game too. But then as you're using the weapons, you have to keep track of the heat, and you have to dissipate heat because the thing is going to overheat. And like you have your mech is on like a hex grid, and you can move a certain amount, and that affects whatever. But there's also turning on the hex grid. You got to turn to move in the other direction, and then you have to keep track of that. And then you have to keep track of the hip, like the pelvis part, the waist of the mech. You can rotate that too.
Oh, that's
and then your weapons are pointing in a different direction, and you got to keep track of that. Like, I just want to say, like,
way too much.
Like, okay, this nun has rifle. She's gonna shoot at that alien with the whip. Roll the dice, hit. Roll the dice, does he? Shrug it off. Boom. Move on. Like, it's much faster. And since we started with the 3D, like I have a 3D printer. I can do this with a 3D printer. So I started from 3D printing. I didn't start from gaming. OnePageRules seems very focused first for people who are new, which like
we are.
Check. Second, people with 3D printers who like can 3D print their own stuff. Check. So they say, if you're new, you like 3D printing, try this game. And then the game is really good. You know, it's not like a bunch of the other games out there are anti 3D printing. Like they are openly hostile to people who want to 3D print stuff. And that's well, that's why I was getting into it in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, they make you buy everything.
Yeah, you buy and I'm not opposed to buying stuff. Like I bought the expanded rulebook for OnePageRules. I bought the whole Jackal's army immediately. As soon as she's like, I like those models, like buy every single one.
But it was worth it because like you buy it and you can have it forever.
Yeah, I can print as many Jackals as I want, like as many bottles of resin as I want to go through, and I buy like the 3-liter jugs of the Sunlu ABS like resin.
Yeah, and then we get to play with them forever. As opposed to like going out of like commission and then like not being able to use in the game anymore.
They're not going to say, oh, we don't support that model in this game anymore. Like there's a game, Age of Sigmar, that I've never played, and there's like a whole army that they just said basically, nope, they're no good anymore. We'll come out with new ones eventually, but nope, they're done. Like, well, what if you just spent all this money on these models and all this time painting and
even getting the rulebook was cheaper too. You know, it wasn't so freaking expensive. And then
the rules are literally free. You can go to their website, just click download. Free rules.
Yep.
And you want all the extra junk? $5. And then when they update it, you just get the update. It's not another $5. It's just you just get it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how they're making money on this game. I know it's only like 3 people making it, like 1 dude and a couple employees.
But I like that. I like that their goal is because they love this kind of game and they want people to be able to play it, rather than their goal is to make money, because I feel like that kind of ruins the fun of the game.
Yeah, like he definitely needs to make money because he has to live.
Mm-hmm.
And they got people to pay, and like artists who do all the modeling got to pay. But he's not saying like we need to maximize shareholder profits this quarter and every quarter after this. He's like, we need to get people into these games because they're cool. I'm sure he's making money off of this, which is great. I hope he continues to do so.
Yeah,
but he's not doing it by bleeding everyone dry. You know, he's providing a lot of value. It's actually really cheap for everything you get.
And I like that it was easier for me to pick up and learn. I mean,
yes.
If our 10-year-old daughter can.
Yeah, if a 10-year-old can pick it up, our 7-year-old's going to pick it up in about 5 seconds, and he's probably going to massacre all of us.
Yeah.
But we're going to put that off. I can't handle that like ego shattering of like a 7-year-old kid who just mows everyone down.
Also, he's not very gentle. So
no, he's not gentle. These will be shattered immediately.
Oh yeah, these will break too.
But he's probably going to make his own army out of Lego pieces. He's going to make like Lego tanks and Lego rockets and stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I would have gotten into it if it was way too complicated to learn.
Yeah, it was a big enough hurdle to get over like the insane nerdiness, but she married me, so she's kind of used to it. Why did you get into it? I want you to talk. So this is absurdly nerdy stuff, and I'm a nerdy guy, so everyone totally gets why I'm into it. Why did you come along?
Because it was like we were both crafty, we both have a lot of hobbies, but there was never really one that intersected. You know, you would have your own, I would have my own. There wasn't really, like, for the longest time, we talked about wanting to do something together where we could have date nights, but date nights at home because, you know, we didn't have the time or the resources to go out and do anything, you know? Because we
hire a babysitter. And,
yeah. So we had to figure out doing something at home when the kids were asleep. And we had other ideas in the past, but they never really came to fruition because we weren't both like into it or anything. And when he suddenly got into tabletop games and he started like learning more about it and he wanted to do it, I, being the loving wife, because I wanted to spend more time with my husband, said, okay, I'll join you. I feel like I don't know if I will be as like in love with it and like love it much, but I like it enough to keep doing this. And I think I'll find it more fun and interesting as we learn more and we keep playing more. Because I love the idea of being able to like paint things too and customize stuff. We're still in the process of painting these, as you can see. And I'm excited to get them like more into like very customized set of armies for me and then for him. And then us being able to then expand this to our kids as they get older. You know, having custom everything is really fun. You know, this was printed too. I like that we can spend time because like it's important that as a married couple that we make an effort to keep deepening and strengthening our relationship.
Games is a good way to do it.
Yep.
Because it's fun and it gives you a way that you can fight each other to the death and you don't end up divorced or even on the couch.
That's only because I'm so nice.
Aw. Thank you very much.
Because you beat me a lot of times and I cry, but I still let you stay in the
You
room.
only cried once, but I didn't feel that bad because you were trying to ambush me behind the front lines, ambushing, and I turned around and attacked the ambushers.
But then there were times when you totally had already figured out how you're gonna beat it, but you pretended like you didn't know and like pretended like you were gonna
do
lose.
That.
It totally felt that way.
I wing it every time.
You'd be like, "Oh no, I'm going to lose," and then round 4 comes along, and you're like, "I'm gonna do this, kill you. I'm gonna do this and kill you," and suddenly I'm like losing. I'm just like, I feel like you were just watching me. You like let me win, make me believe that I was winning. Then you're like, okay, last round, I'm going to demolish you.
Okay, you know what actually happened? I was scared to do anything, and the last round comes up, and I say, oh crap, I gotta do something, and the dice were friendly to me. Everything worked.
But you're always
Every little bit of desperation paid off right at the end.
But in any games we play, other board games, video games, you always like won. You always beat me.
I do not always win.
Yes, you do.
Our daughter beats me a lot. She takes after me. Ruthless efficiency in video games. Think that was it? Goodbye, notes. I barely knew ye. If you want to see us playing a game, like perhaps one where I turn everything around in the 4th round, click somewhere on the screen. You'll see it. I don't know where it's going.
Somewhere.
Back to painting for the next
How
million
cool
years.
Are these? These were clear printed.
We'll show them when they get it done.
Okay.
We'll do like crafting videos maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
We just started painting. We're not going to make crafting videos. Not now. Unless you want to see how to do it when you don't know what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
We can make tons of those videos.
If you want to see amateurs just winging it literally with every single minifigures.
Yep.